everybody, and welcome to the spring sports season here on Nashua ETV. I'm Tom King along with Rich McDonough, and have we got a treat for you to start the spring off today. We have got Bishop Guertin boys lacrosse against Staples of Connecticut. And Rich McDonough, we've got a team that was number one in public high school rankings going into the season. They're not right now, but this has always been a great matchup the last few years, and last year, of course, was one that BG would have loved to have had back when he played this team down in Providence.
Yeah, that was an amazing game. BG went up fast and furious and led at 1.6 and had, Staples woke up, I think, in the second quarter. It was a very cold day. It was at Providence's beautiful lacrosse stadium, and Staples was able to tie it up, and then it went 11-10 in overtime to the Wreckers. And this game, Tom, was supposed to be at Providence and then Bryant, but they've moved it up here to Mata Field here at Stellos Stadium.
So
we're lucky. It's
couple
great for New
different
Hampshire.
venues. Yeah, this was BG's home game anyway, so they were able to move it up, and Staples agreed to it, so that's good. They want to play. And from what you tell me, Staples has the same idea that BG does. Go play the best when you can play them, and they've done that during the course of the early part of the season, and it's cost them a little bit.
Well, and ultimately you want to be firing on all cylinders in May when it's tournament time.
Right.
And they will be. They're a very talented group. They have studs at every position and lots of D1, D2, D3 commits all over the field. They started out, like you said, number one in the country in public schools, and they've lost 3 straight after going out 3-0. But, Tom, we talked briefly about it. The Staples week has been brutal with all caps. They were at Darien. They lost that game last Saturday.
And Darien is in
perennial power.
Yeah, and where are they located?
They're Darien, Connecticut, so
okay.
It's the FCIAC. I played prep ball in Westport.
Yep, and a lot of our audience won't know a lot about this because they're not used to out-of-state lacrosse.
We'll clue you in, but Fairfield County and their public schools there are phenomenal lacrosse powers, and you see all kinds of talent going to every named school. But they went to Darien, lost that one. Then they had to play at St. Anthony's, where Coach Will Kashansky played his prep ball.
Yep.
And then their present for the midweek was they go to Wilton, a perennial power in Connecticut.
Not to be confused with the Wilton in New Hampshire.
No, where Billy and Blaze was written. But they lost 7-6 in overtime on Thursday, and that's a heartbreaker. And now, for all that, they get to travel all the way to New Hampshire and play Bishop Guertin, which was top 25 last year. And also a very, very strong club with lots of talent heading to all levels of division in college.
And this BG team, they lost a tough one down at Merrimack College to St. John's Prep earlier in the week.
Yes.
A close game. It was tied 7-all going into the final quarter, and they gave up 3 goals and lost that one. What's your impression if you've seen this BG team play? I know you have a certain relative on the team. It's a backup goalie. Talk about this BG team.
Yeah, Mike McDonough is backup. His primary there is Will Murphy. I coached them both in the position as a former goalkeeper myself. And, they're both excellent goalies. Will Murphy is headed to Bryant for good reason. He is quick, lightning fast hands, and just a wonderful ball tracker. But the power of this offense for Bishop Guertin is it's an attack. And one of the people in particular is Brady Dumont, who I also coach. He's headed to Villanova. He is an absolute lefty cannon. You've seen that.
I remember Brady Dumont when he was a freshman.
Yes, indeed.
Scoring 4 or 5 goals a game at some times. And not in garbage time either. He was out there when it really mattered.
I tell you, when I had him in 7th and 8th grade for Tomahawks as a guy who played D1 goalie, I would look at that shot and say, I'm glad I'm not in the cage. I mean, he had the gift early on. Now, their midfield, they lost 10 seniors last year, Tom, to graduation in total, and 8 of them are playing college ball. I believe 7 are playing D1.
And he's got a ton of college commits here, both seniors and juniors. This Bishop Guertin team looks again to be head and shoulders above everybody else in New Hampshire. The one team that I look at that, and maybe a couple of teams, Exeter and Bedford,
indeed,
certainly probably hope to challenge them. They play Bedford this week.
Tuesday
here, a 6 o'clock game.
I'll be on that call with Friday Night Lights.
So that'll be an interesting game as well. Players are standing outside facing the flag. I imagine we'll have the national anthem fairly soon if we have one.
Right.
Now for guys, they don't do what they do for girls. They don't do the stick measures, do they?
They'll do it randomly.
Yep.
At the end of quarters or
right,
when a coach
but they
requests.
won't do like they do in the beginning of the game to make sure the netting is tight and everything else was what they do at girls' games. And they do that with every player. They line up, and it's always add a few more minutes to the start time.
One thing that's cool, Tom, is Kristen Cameron
She is on the PA announcer today.
Played at Northwestern. Her father's the Bishop Guertin coach, Chris Cameron.
And I believe we'll have the national anthem. No, we're going to do the lineups first, then the anthem.
But I tell you,
if we do an anthem, I'm not sure we're doing one. So. Now, you and I did one of what I thought was one of the top sporting events of the spring last year. Maybe one of the top games of the year, athletically, high school-wise, locally, was the BG game against BC High. I thought that was just an incredible game.
Right, and I remember BC High had just come off and knocking off Fairfield Prep, which was my old arch rival.
Yep.
And it was neck and neck, and then BG pulled away in the final frame, and that's what put BG to the top 25.
That was a great game. That was a fabulous game that we did last summer, or not last summer, last spring. It was in mid-May, and it was the start of maybe the warmer weather.
Well,
today a chilly day with a little bit of a breeze here off the water here at Stellos. It rained earlier in the morning, and now it's having a tough time drying out. It looked like the sun was kind of come out and take over for a while, but then it just went back in, and then all of a sudden it just became cloudy and raw. But great for our technical people, our videographer. Tim O'Neill certainly likes this, and he's not shooting into the sun. But this is going to be a battle. What do you see as the difference in this game, Rich McDonough?
Well, I think I was looking at, and I saw them play Darien. Mike McDonough and I watched last Saturday. I saw some of their St. Anthony's game. Their goalie, this is a great goalie battle. Marcus in the cage for Staples. DNA, his father, he's going to UNC, is a commit as a junior, and he is probably the #1 recruit in the country in the goalkeeper position. And then, obviously, we talked about Will Murphy. That's huge. I think they've got to limit, if they can, Brady Dumont. But we're going to have our anthem, and we'll join you afterwards. Enjoy, folks.
At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, all you need to know about the popularity of the sport at the two schools is to look at the long line of players on both sides. And a lot of kids out here that are playing lacrosse. And this is an event that is one of many around the area today. There is a day of baseball over at Holman Stadium with 4 games being played involving local teams, and there is also the North Invitational track meet. I came from there, Rich McDonough, a The best way I can describe it is a sea of humanity, and that's what it was. There was a lot of people there and a lot of athletes and everything else. But this game, there was nobody nationally ranked at any. Well, it might have been in track. I'm not sure, but this is a high-profile game. I think that the fact that you've got a team from out of state coming in here from Connecticut, as far away as Connecticut, and the weather kind of limits what we saw. That BC High game last year had a packed stands. And
they had a youth game beforehand.
Right, and it was just major. So of course,
we got plenty of sea of humanity here too.
Yeah, and of course it is also a start of school vacation week in New Hampshire as well. So that factors into it. But there is a crowd here. This is going to be a big game, and Rich McDonough, I'll let you take it over.
Well, we see the coach is shaking hand. We got Long Island DNA all over the place. I mentioned the goalie is Josh Marcus for the Wreckers. His dad was a Long Island guy, Lynbrook, I believe, and two-time All-American goalie at Johns Hopkins, where I was recruited 1,000 years ago. Did not go.
I think Long Island is the northeast birthplace of lacrosse, isn't it? Basically,
my other home was Maryland forever.
That's not the northeast. So that's where we already
to be in New Hampshire.
We already know it's big there. So.
Well, a couple other keys. I think Staples has got to get their communication on defense going. They've had some long slides. They're looking at each other, kind of questioning, and that has left the heart of the defense open. Can Coach Cameron exploit that?
They're missing two key guys.
Yeah, Ben Burmeister and Cam Pryor, both D1 commits. And Paolo Vasquez, one of my keys. He's number 25 faceoff guy.
Got to win the faceoff, right?
Yeah, and then two guys who can get it done for the Wreckers are Anastasi, number 66, and Cisco Salato, who's a Gettysburg recruit. Gettysburg, great program at D3. Bullets, about 90 minutes from where I used to live in Maryland. But he is a heart and soul glue type of player, Tom.
And Pablo comes off the field.
And there's a big left-handed instantly by Micah Dunsmore, who, like his brother, and now at St. Anselm, is a great runner, number 11. But good save out of the gate by Marcus as we get into our first quarter. Rich McDonough, Tom King here for Nashua ETV.
You make a couple of those saves, it can set the tone for the game.
It gets you guys fired up, and he is an expert at tracking the ball, and he's very quick. That's an awesome trail check by Micah Dunsmore. Gets that into his left hand, and all alone.
Wide open attack and a shot to score.
Owen King puts it in his left, folks. 11 on the dot, and we're at 1-0 already. That was a very unfortunate lapse by the Wreckers, and they'll clean that up. Kashansky himself was a terrific defender, 4-year starter at Penn, All-American, and played professionally for the Bayhawks down in my old stomping grounds, Tom.
And that first goal was by?
Owen King.
Owen King. For BG, number one. Yep.
And
Sophomore.
Connor Bouvier wore that one. He's now doing the deed at Holy Cross, where Brian Cameron is coaching, along with.
And I'll tell you what, it wasn't too long ago when we were watching those guys play here.
All right, big guy, important guy for him, for Staples, is Charlie Iannone, number 55. Another excellent trail check, this time by Alex Dumont, number 17.
Yeah, two big turnovers by Staples.
Yeah, he's a twin brother of Brady, whom we mentioned. Alex wears 17. He's headed to Loyola as an LSM, but he's at close defense this year. They had to make a change after losing so many guys. Carrying the ball upfield is Finn Moran. He's going to Siena, D1 lacrosse school as well, and he gets chopped.
From my old stopping grounds,
yes,
Siena.
Sir.
If they had a journalism program, I might have stayed in Albany. I'm not sure. That would have changed everything.
You didn't go to Q's. All right, that's an early timeout. The clock is running.
That's got to be Staples' timeout, I would imagine, after two straight turnovers and a goal. 10:03 to play, and they stopped the clock here at Stellos Stadium.
Yeah, they let about 9 seconds tick off the clock after that TO call. But boy, what a good start for Bishop Guertin here on their home field.
I'll tell you what, both teams play fast. There is no delay in what they want to do. They play awfully fast.
Yeah, they have to clean. They're very, athletes all over the field. Lots of football players on this Staples team, Tom, and then superb athletes for Bishop Guertin. And we saw that excellent check on the
Murphy had a chance to win. Murphy is a Division II state champion in wrestling. as he was during the winter.
Well,
and
he's a gritty kid.
Yeah, did not wrestle in the Meet of Champions, was content with what he had, and he wanted to prepare for Lacrosse. And that would have taken him to late February, a couple weeks before the start. Here we go.
All right, Cam Hayden with the ball starting out, number 15. And he gets it behind. They'll play deep from X and get in a rhythm. They want to bang it around the perimeter. They want to spin it and get in some sort of rhythm and open up Staples' defense. When Staples opens up, the heart is available.
Oh, wow.
And there he is. That's Caleb Young, number 7. He's going to Stony Brook, another D1 power on Long Island. And he's got a legendary lefty as well. Not as fast as Brady Dumont's, but boy, what a 1-2 punch of lefties out there right now.
So, goal at 11 minutes, a goal at 10 minutes left in the quarter. 12-minute quarters here in Lacrosse, high school lacrosse. And the girls went to quarters as well this year, which kind of surprised me.
No shot clock at high school level.
No.
Thank goodness, because we don't have enough refs.
But there is one at the collegiate level. Yep.
Yeah, 80 seconds for the men, 90 for the women.
Not sure the standings yet, but there may be a very good college game here next week, not at Stellos, but maybe at Riviera if they have a home field for the GNAC quarterfinals.
It should be fun. All right, Anastasi wins that face-off. He came into the week at 74% success rate at the dot, Tom. That's stellar. But I did say that number 9, Cisco Salato, the Gettysburg kid, he is a terrific face-off guy in his own right, and he's one of those guys who just pumps the wreckers up. Anyway, back on offense go the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, a 9:34 in the first quarter here for Nashua ETV. Rich McDonough, Tom King on the call today. We're happy to be here. And yeah, it's perfect lacrosse vision weather. Unlike that.
It really is. I mean, and the wind isn't that bad right now, so that's...
All right, carrying the ball is Schmidt, number 24, Hudson Schmidt, excellent running back. And there's that big windup from Brady Dumont. Right on cue, baby. Number 6 has his number 1 of the game. That was huge. What a windup, 9-12, and it's 3-zip Cardinals.
One thing I've learned as a photographer, you never stand behind the goal because it's always going to be whistling right at you. And you would not want that rocket whistling at you, and that's what Brady Dumont just let loose.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing against Tom Towers, who was a great Brown player, and he won the first speed shootout in Denver, in Vail, at 104 back in the day. And I tell you, I got hit with one of those shots, Tom.
I took one in the. I
still have a bruise.
I took one in the lower leg 2 years ago, and I think I still feel it.
There we go. All right, back to the dot. Number 25 again is Paulo Vasquez. He has made himself into a beast.
Whoa, look at this.
And he and Salato run into each other. They kind of laugh it
field,
off.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Both built very similarly, very powerful, strong athletes.
And for the first time, Rich, we're looking to our right at a little bit of an extended possession here for Staples.
Right. And here handling the ball is Iannone, number 5. His dad played at Naval Academy.
BG, which had a 6-0 lead a year ago against this team, is up 3-0 right now, halfway to that.
And right now, key is going to be Charlie Clark handling the ball, number 55. And then number 1 is Adam Udell. He's a real good player, and he's going to Michigan. He's also a point guard on their basketball team, and his eyes and chin are always up, Tom. So watch for number 1 when he has the ball at X. Right now, he has it out top side, and he gets a big check. Big hard check coming from Tyler McLeod. It's going to be a penalty, and that one goes in. It does not wash out a personal foul like that. If it were a push, which is a 30-second penalty, so it's a slash, so the penalty stands, and the goal is good. 8:20, and it's 3-1, and we will go a man-down face-off, and that's a decided advantage for any lacrosse team. So you'll have one shorty on the far wing, Tom, and then you got an LSM, a pole, on the near wing, and lining up against him is Colin Foley, who's a junior, number 8 for Bishop Guertin. This is going to be interesting. One of my keys for Staples was take care of your EMO, extra man offense, and we're about to see it.
Yep, let's see what they do.
but you got to win these 50-50
That's
balls.
just it. They got to pick up those ground balls. Most important thing in lacrosse is the loose ground ball. You grab that, you've got possession. Now someone calls timeout.
Yeah,
I
Coach
imagine
K.
BG. Yep.
Yeah, Coach K called the timeout.
Oh, it's the second one for Staples in this quarter, I believe.
But here we are. They're down quickly, 3-zip. They got one, and they have a man up. So you want to protect this possession, and you want to convert your opportunity here. So I think it's a good timeout.
47 seconds left in that penalty.
Yep. Yeah, that face-off scramble ate up 13 seconds.
Yeah,
and that's
it did.
good for BG.
Oh, it is.
You want to keep it loose.
It's the equivalent of a penalty kill in hockey.
Exactly. You dump it out. If they don't get possession, they can't score. So good job there by the Cardinals getting it to the dirt and then just gobbling up some clock. And then I got to tell you, for BG, another one of their keys, Tom, is make them pass long on their clears. I've seen a lot of their clearing efforts when they've left one guy wide
Talking
open.
about Staples?
Yes,
make them pass long?
But BG's ride is going to be clear. They can leave the goalie open when he has the ball, leave the pole open, and force that long pass, and frequently they float them. And that happens a lot on damp days when your pocket stretches and bags out, we call it. 8:06, and here comes the EMO, Tom.
EMO, extra man.
The extra man offense. We shouldn't call it extra man because it's a subtracted man, but
boy, I'll tell you, with
man
all the goals and stoppages, it has taken us about 20 minutes to play.
Plus, they had to put 9 seconds back on the clock.
4 minutes, yeah, exactly.
But we are at 8 minutes even, folks.
Here we go.
Staples is on the EMO. They get it through X, and that's a good thing to do. Big windup, big time and space. Will Murphy gets low. Nasty reads it all the way and gets it in his bucket. Good job, number 19, Will Murphy.
Each goalie has a save.
Yep. That was a good check, really good check from Tyler DeMeo from behind to get that ball loose. And we still got 20-19 on the
there's a big hit
on the penalty.
Big hit at midfield.
Well, when you're on a man-up ride, you can get an extra squeeze and a double, and they certainly took advantage of that.
11 seconds left with the man advantage.
Yep, and they'll push. BG will push him out, let him keep the ball outside on the front porch, doing nothing but eating up time. They're just happy with that. All right. Penalties released. In comes Caleb Young to join it. He's both a terrific offensive player and a terrific defender. He's a tiger and a good hockey player. We've seen him play.
Yep, we have.
I think he won the skills competition in the Christmas hockey shootout.
No, that was me.
All right, Adam Udell elevates up the slot, takes one that goes wide, and BG is the closest one to the ball at the second one out of bounds. 6:57 and counting. And BG back on the clear, hoping to get down into the offensive zone. All right, carrying the ball over and inside, getting the touch inside the box. You don't have to do that anymore at the college ranks. We still do it in high school. I tell you, those numbers on these gold jerseys, we talked about this last year, Tom. The white numerals on those gold jerseys, very tough to read from a distance.
Yeah, very tough to read. Yep. Oh, what a
wide
pass.
Open.
Great pass, great save.
Well, it's a great save, but he didn't change planes, did Owen King. He's a sophomore. He will learn. He put that right on the goalie's cylinder. Marcus
He almost one-timed it, Rich.
Yeah, well, that's all right. He had no pressure on him, so he was ready to catch it loaded and drive it home.
I mean, he was too close to the goalie. He put it right at him.
He should have gone down and away.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Go low, right?
He's a sophomore. He's going to
low
learn.
In a situation like that?
Sure.
Yeah, that's
sure.
what I
Especially
think.
with Marcus, that close, you can't react and get down that low that quickly.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can.
You're a goalie.
Yes.
Do you have more trouble with the lower shots or the upper shots?
I had no trouble with any of them.
There we go. I love that.
No, but my old philosophy is, if you change planes, you make the goalie read the shot twice.
Right. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And a violation is going to be
it was
BG
interference.
ball.
Interference. Yep. Could see that a mile away, which we are.
So BG survives the EMO and
beautiful outlet pass to Tyler McLeod with the pole.
And they're looking to add to their 3-1 lead.
And Chris Cameron will run his pole, especially if you got number 17 Dumont in there.
Explain that.
Okay, so you got your short sticks and 6-on-6 setup situations, but now with all the talent with your long stick midfielders, LSM, that's the abbreviation.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, I know that one.
They can stick handle, ball handle, and then when you got a 6-foot pole, you've got some torque on that shot, Tom, and it's brutal if you're a goalie.
6-foot stick.
Yes.
Right, yep.
and it's brutal to read if you're a goalie.
Right, exactly, because there's so much room to be able to shoot the ball.
And then just the flex on the shaft. Speaking of flex, that's a terrific. That one's
that's
a great
good
save by Marcus.
Yep.
D1 player to D1 player.
You have to see that ball from far out and through a sea of bodies, and he was able to do it.
But he's also really good. I've been watching him anticipating shot location, and he's probably seen the film on Brady Dumont, and good goaltending, and there's also really, really good offense. 4:40 on the clock, folks, first quarter. Rich McDonough and Tom King here at Stellos Stadium, Mata Field it's called. And that was a ward. They're going to call that on Dumont. He backs away, and off to the races goes Skolnick, good defender.
Taking no time to bring it downfield.
He's one of those guys. He's going to Northeastern. He was a big tight end in football. Staples won the state title last season. And real key for them is Caleb Smith on defense, number 10. He's going to UConn football, Tom. So, really good heart and soul type of guy. So when you see number 10 back on D, watch him. He's a linchpin for that defense. But right now, records are on offense in the hands of trusty Avery Miller. And he's lining things up, taking a long look. Now they sub off. See, there goes your long stick.
Yep, there he
off,
is.
And they do the what we call the turtle drill at midfield. It's a short distance versus running out of the box. And folks, if you're just watching, you can watch the substitution game at midfield. Frequently, you can create a 3-4 yard advantage, and that's meaningful in lacrosse, Tom.
Loose ball in the corner.
Good, now that's a push. That's going to be a push. Ooh, they said he had possession. That's Finn Moran.
That's a big penalty. That's going to give another man advantage, I believe, to Staples, right?
Yeah, Finn Moran, Sienna bound, number 13. That's
3:30 to play in the quarter.
And that's a 30-second penalty. Yep. And with Staples sticks, they pass so accurately and well on the offensive end. They can get right into their offense. If you're BG, you want to take a look, pre-rotate if you have to.
But in that extra man man advantage earlier, they didn't get a shot off. So here we go. Let's see.
Credit
Guertin defense.
Guertin defense. They've got to communicate, head on a swivel, sticks to the skip lanes. Big windup. That one goes wide and high. And Will Murphy is crossing himself. There's a great hustle play by Alex Dumont. Big Al.
To get to be the nearest one to the ball, right?
Yeah, he is an alpha athlete, man. He's
nearest
so
one
fast.
to the ball when it goes like that, it will go to that team.
And that is a great kill by Bishop Guertin. The penalty just ticks off, and we're going to be all even again.
And that was a quick 30 seconds, Rich McDonough.
Well, again, credit Bishop Guertin's defense. They were flexing, they were all ready, and then Al.
And limited Staples to one shot on that advantage.
Right. And then Al Dumont chased that one down. He's a terrific athlete in his long running strides. All right, here comes number 22. That's Jeremy Warren. I coached him in youth ball. Great kid from a great family. His mom, Amy, is an English teacher at Bishop Guertin. And his grandpa was my real estate lawyer. Not anymore. Roz Kother is my real estate lawyer. Her son played at Staples and is now an assistant coach. For the Mules out of Colby, assisting Bernhardt there. They're going to have a good thing going out in Waterville, Maine.
Guertin looking for that advantage, looking to get the opening. They're patient enough.
Sure. Owen King turns it around. That's a good hit on Warren. Yep. Almost knocks him out of bounds. Good defense there by
what
Murillo.
A pass.
And everything
save.
but the drop.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just kind of dropped the shot was nowhere near as strong as he wanted it. It kind of just dropped it out of the net.
And you see the top of my keys for Staples. Marcus has to be big in the goal, and he certainly has come to play ball.
He sure has. He's got 4 saves already in this game.
Yeah,
and
remarkable.
Team is still down 3-1.
And you hear everybody on the Staples barking out the call. It's better than the coach running out of vocal cords. 127, folks, and counting. It's 3-1. Staples had a good save there. They're looking to convert that wonderful save by Marcus into possession and looks. All right, carrying the ball here is Avery Muller. Bangs it out behind the cage. We got 2-2-2 set up, and they flex back in. They do a little spaghetti weave out top here. Staples will do that in that formation and in their 1-4.
And then they split back.
Right, they pick away, and if it doesn't set up, they reset.
4 across the line, and nothing happened, so they move back up and reset, and that's what they're going to do here. It looks to me, Rich McDonough, like they are going to hold for the last shot.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be that kind of game.
They are taking their time.
Right. I mean, they had a bloodbath the other day, a 7-6 game against Wilton in overtime that didn't go their way, and then relatively low-scoring game for them at St. Anthony's. But St. Anthony's is just loaded with D, and also an excellent goalie for St. Anthony's.
St. Anthony's out on Long Island,
baby. All right, big run down alley dodge there, and we had a big slash.
Oh, and a pass and a
quick
big goal.
I tell you what, that was wide open for Hunter Pillai.
What, number 21, I believe? I'm not sure.
13.6 seconds, and that'll be another slash on Bishop Guertin, which means the penalty will stand. And key is we have another man down face-off,
This is the third penalty on BG.
Yeah, they've had 2 slashes and one push.
One push. And the slash will count, and so Staples will again have an advantage for a minute, which will carry into the second quarter.
But critical. Staples really wants to win this face-off.
Yes, exactly. Get one more shot off.
Well, no, they'll hold it.
Right.
And that means they'll have no face-off to start the second
quarter. Right,
and
exactly.
Right on cue, they do it, and they'll just let it, they'll kill it and get to the quarter.
4 seconds
possession.
left.
That is a big change, a big turn.
And that is
Staples can build and get some good momentum off of that.
And we'll have a big change because you will handle the second quarter solo as I go down and do the other part of my duties for the still shots for NationalTelegraph.com.
All right.
All right, Rich McDonough.
Look forward to the second
back.
half, Tom.
Look forward to it.
Okay, pal. Good luck down there. Don't get hit. All right, the kids are taking a 2-minute break between quarters. We're going to do the same right here for Nashua ETV's presentation of Boys Lacrosse, Division I, New Hampshire. All right, folks, welcome back to Nashua ETV's presentation of NHIAA Boys Division I Lacrosse. Bishop Guertin here at Stellos Stadium in Nashua, New Hampshire, with the visiting Wreckers from Staples High School in Westport, Connecticut. Staples was ranked preseason #1, as we said in our intro, and they've had a very, very brutal, I don't care what part of the country you're from, if you play Darien, St. Anthony's, and Wilton, and then BG in the same week, that is hard. And they've played 5 of their last 6 games on the road. They have a couple games coming up, and then they will finish with 5 of 6 games at home, including a finale with the ever-powerful Brunswick Bruins out of Greenwich, Connecticut. All right, Staples is man up to start. Possession, no face-off because they had a penalty. Finn Moran's in the box, number 13, and we have 30 on the clock with this penalty. Staples patiently working it around, looking to create something in the crease. And a big windup and picking the upper corner. Number 1, numero uno, is Michigan-bound Adam Udell, and he gets that cheddar cheese right up in the top shelf. And 11:34 after being down 3-zip to BG, the Wreckers have come storming back with man-up situations, and it is tied 3-3, 11:34 in the second quarter, our first half. Great game so far, folks, between highly anticipated matchups and excellent players. Vasquez wins that one. Good clamp early and gets it away. Fast runner, very strong young man, and they get it behind. Owen King's not able to handle that, has to chase it and get to corner just to get some space, and Dumont comes behind to meet him. That one was tipped out of bounds by Caleb Smith. We mentioned him a while ago. Terrific. Excuse me, that wasn't Caleb Smith. That was Ryan Skolnick. Skolnick's going. He's a football tight end, big kid, lots of athletes and strong players for both squads, and the Wreckers are loaded with football players and basketball players. Multidisciplined athletes here. I'd like to thank Dan Clark from the Staples booster, and he and I got to be friends this week, and he gave me a lot of information about Staples, a school that I've known very well for most of my adult life, and it's nice to see. Thank you to Dan, appreciate it, and to all the Staples alums watching on Nashua ETV. Glad to have you here.
Very special game. My son plays for Bishop Guertin, and I played prep ball in Connecticut. So loving this, folks. And we got interference. Once again, that's the second interference call on Bishop Guertin. It's basically a moving screen to give you an analogy from basketball. Great trail check there by Tyler McLeod. Can't get that one to the dirt, and we have another penalty. This one is going to be to McLeod, number 42, connected in the head with that long pole, and Bishop Guertin is going to see its fourth penalty of the game coming up, and Staples is saying thank you very much. Basically got a free possession here. Patiently do what they want. Almost a slash right there. That would have been a second slash. That would have been on Finn Moran, but it's going to be number 42, Tyler McLeod, going to the box for a minute at the 10:02 mark, and it's 3-3, and Staples is looking to cash that check and take a 4-3 lead. Bishop Guertin's got to buckle up and play some serious man-down D right now. They're very capable of it. They're well-coached. Luke Solms is their D coordinator, a good friend of mine, and I coached with him for a few seasons in Tomahawks. He's a Bishop Guertin grad himself, as is the assistant Cody Marquis, offensive coordinator and very creative for Bishop Guertin. So everybody above goal line extended, GLE for Staples as they bang it around in a 3-3 shape, and a big cut and a great read by Will Murphy to get that in his bucket, and an even better outlet pass. And there goes the high-flying Alex Dumont, and a big man-down rifle shot by his brother, his twin brother Brady Dumont, and that one goes all the way out, almost to the half line, and nobody home. The closest guy was looked like number 55, that's Charlie Clark, on attack. That's why you get back up the field close to midline in case those loose balls come over. And boy, Brady Dumont looks stunned that his shot didn't go in. That thing cooks. Three-figure fastball, folks. All right, we got 15 seconds on the shot clock, or on the penalty, and this one rolls out of bounds with 10 seconds on the penalty to McLeod, and he's waiting in the box. And Brady Dumont's going to serve and get back in. They get a Caleb Young at number 7 waiting at the midfield dot. Here he comes. Don't want to call all even too early. That's really dangerous. You're not all even until you're all even. That's a big rifle shot by Charlie Iannone. I told you about him a few minutes ago. He's an RIT commit. Terrific football player, wide receiver, and that thing just hit the iron there. Will Murphy is crossing himself right now. BG's a Catholic school, worked a little bit right there. Alex Dumont lining up against Udell. That's a great matchup. Loyola bound and Michigan bound. Udell gets over from slot to slot, gives it up, and pulling it back out are the Wreckers. 8:36 in the second quarter. It's all tied up at 3. Murphy lunges at that one well outside the cage, and that one heads for the Nashua River off in the distance, folks. 8:31 and counting, 3-3 in a battle of Titans here in New England. Carrying the ball there is William Fleming. Gets it back outside. There's a guy I like, number 91. You gotta like this kid. He is, it's Tristan Schaefer. He's Colgate bound. He has a lefty cannon, and he's really creative off ball. So watch number 91 off ball. He slips into free spaces, and very cagey, crafty player. He'll create. Excellent defense by Alex Dumont, but gets to the left was Udell once again. Boy, that's a great matchup. They're both athletic. They're both going to excellent D1 schools, Loyola and Michigan, respectively. But we'll see that all day, folks. And here, coming back to get the ball, not doing it, but there's Caleb Young out in traffic. He wore number 5 last year, and he's got number 7 now. Connor Gabord wore 7, and he is now at West Point. Props to Gibby, his good friends Dan Clark, whom I mentioned just a while ago. All good people. I'd like to also say hello to my father-in-law who's watching with my wife. My father, Bob, fighting the good fight. Him himself was a top shelf athlete back in the day for University of Pittsburgh. Love you, Bob. Keep chugging, pal. All right, 7:20 on the clock. Bishop Guertin on the attack. Setting things up slowly. Here comes Brady. He gets to his left. He loves that, and that hits the grill of Marcus. Boy, that one stings. I can feel that all the way up from here, and that brings back some nightmarish memories of my own. Saw plenty of heat in the Georgetown days and Fairfield U. Fairfield U, shout out to those fellas. They're having their alumni day at Fairfield at Rafferty Stadium. Wish I could make it, guys, but here we are doing the duty for Bishop Guertin and Staples. All right, that one bounces through to Brady Dumont. Resets, hits the resets switch. Better we have it than they have it. Carrying the ball is Beau Dubois. Big lefty cannon of his own. Bada bing, bada boom, bada back of the net. 6:41 on the clock, folks, and it is 4-3 Cardinals up on the Wreckers once again. They were led early, 3-zip, and Staples came back to tie it at 3. And boy, what a ripper. Grip it and rip it. Beau getting the job done, sending Vasquez back to the dot with a lead. Big windup. That was a very patient offensive series by Bishop Guertin. They took what they gave, and then they finally got it to the top of the island, maybe the slot right there, and Vasquez wins an all-important face-off. He has really created himself into a face-off juggernaut. Gotta love, and great tradition at Bishop Guertin with face-off guys. You got Murph, a couple years ago, is now at Bryant, and man, the face-off factory for the Cardinals continues. And we're under 6:20 and counting. Jeremy Warren picks it up, gives it back to Caleb Young, one of the 4 captains. And again, he's going to Stony Brook. He has a big left of his own, and this time everybody's home for Bishop Guertin. They'll keep the ball. Again, the rule is, possession goes to the team who is closest to the ball at the second it goes out of bounds. You can't dive. It's not where your feet were. It's where they were. You have to reconnect with the ground. Back in the old days, if you dive, you can get the call. Big windup by Brady Dumont, and looked like Marcus got a piece of that one. It sails high, almost through the goalpost. Can't get 3 points for that. We're under 6, folks. 5:50 on the clock, and it's 4-3 Bishop Guertin. Handling the ball is Owen King. He got himself a goal first in the first quarter to get the scoring started. Owen King carries north of GLE. Good defense right there by Murillo, number 11. Another good story. He's a Providence commit, and he had the game-saving tackle, folks, for their championship football team on the 1-yard line. That's a nice bit of history. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Appreciate that one, buddy. All right, here comes Caleb Young getting down the alley, and he gets a big high lefty, and that one sails over the goal once again. But Bishop Guertin right now is getting the patient looks, and it's all about it. And what a handle in traffic, and a finish by my old buddy Jeremy Warren, who I coach. We won a state championship in youth ball back in 2018, and it's so good to see him get one. His brother graduated from BG last year. He's at UVM now, and Jeremy, great kid. Had him since the 3rd grade, and he's just a terrific young man, and wonderful catch in traffic, and a great story there. And 5:10 on the clock, folks, and counting. It is 5-3. Once again, it's Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV. Tom King is doing his telegraph duty down on the field. The ubiquitous Tom King. TK, we call him TKpedia. You want to know about New England sports, you talk to the TKpedia. All right, Vasquez gets it done once again, gets it outside, and into the flow come the Bishop Guertin. They get their personnel out and onto the field and into the offensive flow, and good guy to have it is Micah Dunsmore, great runner. RPI bound, which was ranked number 2 in Division 3. They lost to Amherst this week, but they'll stay in the top 5, I have no doubt, and he's going to be an electrifying player for RPI. Going to get himself a great education right there as well. Here comes that substitution game, and running onto the field is Matt Brezen, and he gets inside, number 41. He's a shorty. He's now on the crease, and he's marking up Avery Miller, and he drags him outside to the top of the box. Good guy to have it is Udell. He gets it started, takes a good pick there from Justin Halke. I like Halke's game, and they fire it up and wind it up, and that one hit the underside of the iron there and ricocheted into the goal. Not a whole lot Will Murphy could do about that one. 4:07 on the clock, folks. 5-4. BG up on BG up on the Wreckers, and that was a much-needed goal. BG took a 3-3 tie and got 2 good patient goals on settled offense, and Staples got that goal, stop a little bit of bleeding, and now you got to win the face-off. And Jay Anastasi, who had that lofty number coming into the week, I believe I said 74% coming in, and he's got to win a couple. Vasquez, he's low and powerful to the ground, and that's not a good pass. It was too early. He should have run that ball out himself, and it gets to the carpet, and then back on offense goes the Wrecker offense there. I tell you what, those unforced turnovers are what turns us coaches' hair gray. It's not age, it's not genetics, it's unforced turnovers. Don't buy any of the other stuff. All right, in comes Colgate-bound Tristan Schaefer, number 91. I mentioned him just a few minutes ago. He's got the ball, and with 2 injuries to their excellent players in Burmeister and Pryor, both middies, both Division I bound. Burmeister, Notre Dame, as good as it gets, defending national champs, and Pryor, Bucknell. We're going to need a lot of play from the young middies for Staples. Coach Kashansky and I were chatting last night, and he said he's got some young players who just haven't seen the dogfight yet, and they're getting it now. That is an outstanding interception, but unforced error once again, and this one whistles by Will Murphy, and with nobody behind, Murphy is the one who gets the draw, and back on offense goes the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Great outlet pass finds Al Dumont, very talented player. As I said, he's going to Loyola. I coached him in Tomahawks, and him and his brother, he and his brother Brady Dumont were just excellent players up and down the field for our 2024 Purple squad. Really one of the best in the country. All right, Micah Dunsmore has it, RPI bound, as I just said, marked up by his counterpart, also wearing 11, is Max Murillo. And he carries, dishes it off. Dumont, they're going to have a nice settled offense here. You want a good look. Lacrosse is about good looks, just like basketball. You want to get good looks at the goal and convert as many as possible, obviously. But it doesn't happen. Nice little bit, goes underneath, doing the kayak a bit there. But he's not the closest guy to the ball was Dumont, and so the Wreckers will go back on the clear. And they leave Marcus open, coming back to hunt the ball. That's smart by Murillo. If you're going to leave all that space underneath with that soft 3-3 zone ride, that's what you want to do. And Murillo goes right back to Green, gets the ball. That was cerebral lacrosse by Staples right there, folks. See what they're in, take what they give you, go to Green and get the ball and get on offense. 1:30 coming up on the clock, folks. It's 5-4 in a good battle, as we expected, between highly regarded lacrosse teams here in New England. Again, Staples ranked number 1 in public schools coming in, and number 12 in the national poll. And they've had like I said, they had that brutal schedule. They started 3-0. They're now 3-3. Bishop Guertin, number 1 in the New Hampshire coaches / media poll, which I'm part of. And a battle that we expected, and it's 5-4 accordingly. Looks like Staples gonna patiently engineer a shot here. It's kind of like singles in baseball. Just manufacture runs, you want to manufacture a goal. And I can hear Coach Cameron asking his defense what they're doing. They're just watching. All right, and Dumont out on Udell. Again, we've been talking about that battle all game. Udell headed to Michigan, and Dumont headed to Loyola. And looking to pick it up. Creeping into the picture there was Timmy Harold. No pick, he denied the pick, don't want it. Udell gets the jump shot there, and that one sails high and wide of the goal, and we're at 19.6 seconds and counting, folks. Goes out of bounds, and it looked like Coach Cameron for BG called a timeout. That was his first of 2, and it's 5-4, 19.6 seconds left in the first quarter. Again, just to recap, BG went out hot early and stormed to a 3-zip lead. They started committing penalties. They had 3 one-minute penalties and 1 30-second penalty. And Staples came back and tied it up 3-3. Then Vasquez for Bishop Guertin started winning face-off after face-off. BG got into some settled possessions, got 2 nice goals to go out 5-3. And then Staples got their goal to make it 5-4 with about 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And that brings us to where we are with the timeout and this great game here at Mata Field and Stellos Stadium in Nashua, New Hampshire. It was supposed to be originally, a game was going to be played at Bryant, For whatever reason, conflict arose that time of year, heavy use of the fields, and especially when we get to tournament time at the college level. And here we are at Stellos Stadium. I've coached here a few times, to say the least, and it's always a great place to play. We've got a good crowd for a cold day, and obviously these fans getting treated to a big game. Again, Staples comes in. They're two-time defending Class L champs. Excellent program. Coach Mack, I'm a Coach Mack, but their Coach Mack really built that program into something special. And Will Kashansky in his 6th year with the school, 5th season because they had the wiped out COVID year. But they've had numerous All-Americans. And again, as Tom King said, they had that wild 11-10 comeback victory over this BG squad at Providence last year. All right, here we go. Looking for the last shot, and handling the ball is Halke. He's a good sophomore, very athletic. He's got a great rollback, gets it over, and a really solid trail check there. Colin Foley strips it. We're under 5 seconds left. Probably not a whole lot they're going to try to do with it, but Foley winds up, takes a long ball, and that doesn't hit anything but a defenseman. But fantastic first half, folks. You are tuned in, and you're loving it if you like lacrosse or sports in general. Fellas are going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll take a 10-minute break. And this is Rich McDonough for Nashua ETV and Tom King. And we'll see you after the break, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Once upon a time, the stars played a big role in everyone's life.
They guided explorers, lit the way at night, and sparked imagination.
Why don't we see any stars?
Today, we've lost sight of the stars. Most kids live someplace where light pollution impacts the night sky. Books and computers have become our only way to see the stars.
I only see one star.
That means we're disconnected from something our ancestors took for granted, and we are denied seeing the beauty right above our heads.
There's places, special places, that are different.
After a few hours in the car, you are transported back in time. The lights and sounds of the city are left behind. In the Maine woods, the sky looks just as our ancestors saw it. Here, the stars come to life.
Thousands glow bright in the night sky. Shooting stars fly across the horizon.
There is no need to be scared of the dark.
The night sky filled with wonder.
Whoa!
Wow!
So many.
All of this makes us think about how lucky we are to have places like the Maine woods.
There are way more stars here than in the city.
It makes us think about how important it is to protect them.
I see a Big Dipper!
It makes us wish that more people would want to see the dark.
And welcome back, everybody, to Stellos Stadium. I'm Tom King, along with Rich McDonough. Rich McDonough handled it solo for me during the second quarter. It was a pretty good second quarter, right? I mean,
Sure.
Staples got the equalizer, and Bishop Guertin came down with 2 quick goals. And then Staples with a goal and a chance late in the game and late in the half. Didn't capitalize. The BG survived. And so we go into the second half almost as even, Steven, as it could be, except for on the board. 5-4 BG with the lead.
And as we discussed at the beginning and a little bit during the game, the goalie battle has been terrific, as advertised, with Marcus for Staples and Will Murph for BG. And both of them have stepped up and stepped in and taken some high heat, Tom, and read those shots very well.
I've got Will with 3.
3
saves, and I got Marcus with 5. That's what I've got.
That's
so.
about right. I had him with 6, but I'm a
that's
goalie,
right.
so I'm always going to give him an extra
I'll
one.
give him an extra one, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but we had some real good goals in there. You got Owen King, Brady Dumont, and Caleb Young. And then my special favorite with Jeremy Warren got himself a real good catch and score at the end. And Vasquez did a real good job at the faceoff dot. He's got to continue to win those battles. Really creative little bounce pass there after he got the squeeze, and that finds Caleb Young to get us going in the third quarter. And up 5-4 is Tom King. Painted the picture to get started here. Visiting from Westport, Connecticut are the Staples Wreckers. Head coach is Will Kashansky. He was a UPenn guy, 4-year starter there, played for the Bayhawks, like I said earlier. Terrific defensive-minded guy. Played at St. Anthony's out in the island. Tom and I talked about that, and that's all baked into him, and his defense plays like it. All right, Young gets it out under the restraining line, bangs it out to the side. And wearing 15 this year is Cam Hayden. No more KB, Kevin Broderick. Took the spring off. Great kid, love him to death. Coached him for years. All right, good patient offense. Micah Dunn's more carries.
This is as patient as I've seen BG in this game.
Yeah. Good job and good defense there by Murillo turning him out.
There were times I thought I was down on the across the field that I felt that Staples was a little impatient, Rich. I don't know if they got the best looks.
I agree with that. And we talked about some unforced errors. You were down on the field, but you had some unforced errors both ways, but particularly BG near the end.
Yeah.
And that was impatient. Just what you said. It's a proper word. Unable to handle that ball in traffic. Wow. Is number 4. That's Sean McGarry, another kid I've had in youth clinics. Good family. His father played at Alfred University, I believe.
BG fortunate to avoid the turnover there. Staples is making them work, but that's what you like to see. That's what makes a good game.
Right. Oh, that's a great
shot.
Picking the corner. There's some more of that cheddar cheese on the top shelf. That's Caleb Young, folks.
Wow.
10:01, and Young makes it 6-4. And that one was a blink of an eye kind of shot.
That was a shot where he put it where the only spot where he could go in.
Yep, off stick high on a great goalie.
And that's where Young did it, number 7. Young's had a good game. It's his second goal.
Yeah, well, he's a terrific runner. He has the heart of a tiger. And again, we discussed it earlier. He is going to Stony Brook out on Long Island. Lots of Long Island connections here today, that's for sure. And
there's a big hit.
Vasquez takes a big hit. They're gonna. He had possession. That's going to be a 30-second push.
30-second push, yeah.
Yeah. And a big win at the face-off. We just discussed that getting out of the gate.
Now, I've covered this sport since the early 80s. And Pinkerton Academy in Londonderry played it because they prep school, playing in a prep school league long before it became an NHIAA sport.
Right.
It was a much more violent game than it is today.
Yeah, we hickory shafts, the hardest plastic heads you could find.
I mean, but the hitting. Hitting was hard.
And then the Brine Company outside of Boston, right? They had all the seafaring net makers.
The equipment, don't care about that. It was the hitting. It was the way the game was played. They were just killing each other.
Yeah, we had those L5 gloves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the big gloves.
You could feel everything.
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
Memory lane here, folks. I still have my L35 somewhere.
But it was a violent game. It's a much less physical game now. Although it's still very physical, but it's a much less physical game than it was 20 years ago, even 30 years ago.
I'm not going to agree with that one. It's pretty darn physical. They don't allow the same hits.
That's just it. And those hits were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they were big.
My bell is still ringing from wearing that old Bacharach helmet. What a big windup by Dumont there. And that one missed the cage. But I think Marcus was all over that. He had a good look at it. And, boy, he is a great goaltender as far as reading shots. That's why he's #1 goalie prospect in the country.
I'll tell you what, though. The lacrosse goalie is a lot different than being a hockey goalie. Hockey goalie, you got tons of padding. And lacrosse goalie, Rich McDonough, you gotta have the bruises all over. You must.
No, I don't go to the beach, Tom. My legs still show it. But you know what? It's the mark. It's a mark of pride. It's a badge of honor. Anyway, I always wore shorts. I didn't like any pads.
I'll take a.
Obviously, you gotta wear a throat
I'll
protector.
take a different badge.
Got to wear a throat protector, chest protector, and of course cup.
Yep.
And that's all I want. I didn't want anything to slow me down. No arm pads, no shin pads.
No shin pads.
No
I
way.
would definitely want the shin pads.
Yeah, I started out
And
that
knee
way.
pads. And knee pads.
Nope, I started out that way with the shin guards, and I just said, heck with this. It slows you down too much. You can worry about it later.
I can see that, but I'd rather be able to walk.
No, you got to worry. You got to
some
ice
point.
it up and worry about it later. No time for it. All right. Nice, drawing the shorty right there and taking the abuse.
Yeah, took the
real
abuse on the
was
hit.
McGarry.
And he tried to decoy the shot, too. He tried to make like he wasn't going to do it, then all of a sudden he turned around and
Yeah,
fired.
kind of like Ali with the rope.
Yeah, that was a...
But he's a cagey player, is McGarry,
Yeah.
and a real good athlete. I mean, look at the legs. The kid
Oh,
lifts
yeah, look
clearly.
at him. Yep.
Clearly lifts. Anyway, Staples getting it below. GLE looking to set up some patient offense. In comes Justin Halke. Dan Clark, whom I mentioned, head of the boosters, and his kid is number 55, Charlie Clark. He's going to join us at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Say hello from the Staples. They were very kind to us with coaches' introductions and information, and it's helped us make a good broadcast.
Make a good
here.
broadcast, definitely.
Yeah, look, it's a family. This is a family sport. It's intense. The kids are going to get after it. They sure are today.
There are players from all over the area and beyond that are here today to watch this matchup.
Right, and here comes Clark elevating.
Murphy, what a
wow.
save!
Iannone took
my.
the Clark feed. He took that feed, Iannone, from Clark, and Murph was all over it. He went from pipe to top and shut that baby down. Staples keeps it, but boy, I will tell you, as a goalie, that fires up your team.
That was huge.
Huge. All right, good defense. They're trying to play the two-man game behind the cage. You know, pick and slip type of offense there. It's very creative. You get a little space, and then you've got, that's going to be a slash. That is one on Al Dumont. And they're going to call that one. We just talked about Dan Clark, and his son just took that slashing penalty from Dumont. And that's going to be, what, the fifth, sixth penalty for BG?
Yeah, they've had a lot.
Really, you know, physical play, but sometimes you got to keep it in. You just got to keep it in check, so to speak.
Good news, the 2-goal lead. The bad news, BG has been spending a lot of time a man down.
Yeah. All right, here comes Clark. He rolls away from Dumont. Dumont better not get himself a second penalty on this series here. Again, they're going back to that two-man game, drawing it way out into the corner is Udell. This time he's got Finn Moran, and Udell winds up, and that one sails high and long, and we're going to get that 1-minute call on Dumont, who trots to the bench, 5:42, and here comes the 1-minute penalty, folks, and the fifth EMO, extra man offense, series 4. The record's none, or 1 for Bishop Guertin.
And
this is what deflates the tires, Tom.
Boy, it does. You get the delayed call. Staples gets all that possession time, and then now BG's going to work on defense again. What a great play!
Yeah,
almost
he steps right into Clark's pass, which was a little bit lazy. All right, and there's Tristan Schaefer, and he gets top side of the crease and gets underneath his man, gets it elevated, and gets it down and in. And Schaefer converts. Like I said, he's Colgate bound.
You're not going to get a closer shot. Number 91, Tristan Schaefer.
Yeah. And Dumont's shaking his head as he trots back out onto the field. It was an unnecessary slash. There was really, the play was over, or it was moot. Just keep it in front of you and don't wind up. Don't wind up. I've been around this ref crew many, many times as a coach.
Jim Tufts is one of them, the former
club player, yeah.
Former Exeter coach.
But they know their stuff. They know their stuff. Amazing. He's still working that knee pad, that knee brace. He's an old salt. All right, and touching it in is Schaefer, who just got that goal to make it 6-5. 5:19 on the clock in the third quarter. Rich McDonough, Tom King here for Nashua ETV. Great crew on board here today. Executive director is Pete Johnson, right? Dylan Smith and Tim O'Neill.
Pete. Watch out.
Oh, big windup for number 33, Justin Halke. I mentioned him earlier. He's a sophomore. Excellent, excellent athlete, and he had plenty of time and space. Can't give a kid like that time and space like that, or else that's going to be nowhere but in the back of the net. And we are at 6-6, Tom King.
We are tied.
Which is my height, right?
Yeah, we are tied. There's 5:02 left to play in the third quarter, and we got ourselves a treat. This is a good, competitive
And Vasquez got to win
game.
this one, and there he goes.
He's done a good job.
He's got to
on it.
own this. It's got to be him.
He's won his share today. That's
Boy, that's
for sure.
a heck of a check from behind as Vasquez went. I think Chris Cameron was thinking about calling a TO to bail him out. Didn't have to.
Whistle go.
We got another interference. I think
Evidently.
that's the third or fourth interference
All right,
call by
BG
Bishop Guertin today. On Bishop Guertin.
Guertin, aside from that one goal, has just not been able to have possession here with 4:37 left to play in the third quarter.
They need stronger cleats because they keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. All right, Tristan Schaefer has the ball. This is your guy with the two stud middies out, hurt for Staples. And these kids who are stepping into the dogfight, as Coach Kashansky shared with me last night, are learning how to execute.
Watch out.
Way to get underneath.
Just a little bit
Underneath
wide.
the check, it was Murillo.
I think the shot was impeded a little bit. I think there was a little bit of contact on the stick when he let it go. With 4:09 to play.
Yeah, my bad. It was
quarter.
Udell. And he did got his stick down low and underneath and was able to elevate it just in time, but the door shut on him. And Staples goes back out, elevates way high outside, and here comes Schaefer taking the pick and gets it around, gets it to his left, which is what he wants. Takes a pretty good check there from Tyler McLeod.
Staples set up with the two guys back, so they're able to get any missed shot.
Yep,
Possession.
And then they can choose to go into the two-man game here.
Right.
Here comes the pick. Nope, the pick was, didn't set up, but that's all right. They just want possession, and they'll take what BG gives them. There's a pick topside, and Udell carries it, gets it to a strong hand, and a big wind-up and miss. Wide right of the cage.
Yeah, he rushed it a little bit, but he had the opening. If he was going to shoot it, that was the point where he had to because of the opening that he had.
And Dunsmore gave him a little bit of a trail check that might have disrupted his rhythm there.
BG's done a good job of disrupting a few of their shots, but they have gotten some good shots in this third quarter that have allowed them to tie the game.
That's a
Here we
great
go.
check there by McLeod. He gets the ball down to the carpet, picks it up in his cross, and here comes Dumont speeding down. For the moment, BG has numbers. Can they get it in gear and get it around and get it inside?
Staples gets back.
Yeah, they finally got back. BG just wasn't ready to set up.
I don't think BG is playing as fast. Staples won't allow it. I don't think BG is playing as fast as they like.
And yet Hunter Duwani, number 23, legging it off the field. Terrific athlete as a sophomore. I'm good friends with his family. He came to some of our youth clinics back in the day, Tom, and I could see it back then. He's a gifted athlete, fantastic runner. Be fun to watch him develop. Lots of good sophomores for BG after they lost a lot. 10 players, many All-State and All-Americans last year.
Staples forces to play way outside, and now BG's got to regroup.
Yeah, they're fine. They're just getting set up. Dunsmore gets underneath. That was a good slide, and they change. Good switch, good communication. Identified that. Staples has had trouble leaving the heart of the defense open. What a wind up there by Dubois. He does it again. He had one in the first, and he's got himself another one. So many lefties here on the BG squad that can kill you from any point in the field. And at 2:12, ladies and gentlemen, it is 7-6 Cardinals, and this is a humdinger of a game. We are having ourselves a real treat here, Tom.
Well, Dubois with a good shot. I don't think they were ready for it.
Well, he kind of did the sleeper hold.
He did.
Thank you.
He did. He was. And I don't think the goaltender was ready, and that's why Dubois was able to get it in.
Gotcha. And Staples wins this one. That was important because Vasquez has really done a great job at the dot today for Coach Cameron and the Cardinals.
This will be a fourth quarter game.
Just like last year.
Yep. Which is what you'd expect with these two, right? I mean,
Sure.
you would expect it to be a game of fourth quarter. I thought the BC High game last year was a little bit more high scoring than I expected.
I think it was, 20-14 or something like that?
It was up there. So.
Yeah. And last year's tilt between BG and the Wreckers. Big wind-up by Iannone. Again, his dad was a Naval Academy player, and he clearly has got the DNA on his own. That was a heck of a wind-up,
What
Tom.
a rocket.
Absolute howitzer from Iannone. And, boy, he's doing his dad proud out there. 1:32 on the clock, and we're knotted up at 7. This is fun to watch. Hope you guys tuned in.
But now the goals are starting to come. It was a while there. So now let's see.
All right, and Vasquez jumps at the dot, so that's a violation.
Remember, in the St. John's prep game, it was 7-all going into the final quarter, and we got a minute 27 to decide whether it's going to stay tied or somebody's going to have a lead going into the final quarter in this one.
And that is why we call you TKpedia. History repeating himself. Tuesday night to Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Obviously, Staples would like to make it 8-7 going into the fourth. Again, last year, we had a bunch of graduates for BG, but don't think the kids who were juniors and sophomores from last year don't remember that OT loss.
Oh, they remember it.
Oh, yeah. They were up 6-zip, and Staples kind of woke up at a certain point and closed the gap to 6-2, and then it became a ball game. And it was similar weather last year for the Staples BG game.
It was.
Chilly.
I was at a baseball game that day, and
I had to call a college lacrosse game beforehand.
We called a game on ETV, Nashua Pinkerton at Holman. They're playing again as we speak at Holman Stadium.
All right. Oh, that's a great dodge. That is a great dodge and a great finish by Adam Udell. Dusts one man, gets by the help, and boy, at 25 seconds, Udell got his hands high and free and put that all the way in the back corner of that
Number one
net.
for Staples gives them their first lead in this game.
That is why Udell, with that speed dodge from the wing dodge, is going to Michigan where he will ply his trade. Lots of good recruits from Michigan now. They have elevated that Big Ten program. And we got another violation this time. This time it goes on Anastasi, and it's 24 seconds on the clock, and BG has something to work with here.
Let's see.
See what they can do. They'll have to do it in a hurry. They'll get right into their flow. There's a good guy to have it, is Brady Dumont. They got to get their touch. They get it inside, but they don't have a whole lot of time. They get it below GLE, and taking a look, surveying the field there. And Dunsmore gets it. He fires it back over to Cam Hayden.
Down to 5.
Tell him to go. And here comes the big windup.
Nope.
And unable to get that. It was rattling around in his cross. That was Caleb Young. Good luck, but that's a great way to end the quarter. And after we had a BG lead at halftime, Staples has got its stuff together, and they take an 8-7 lead into the fourth quarter.
8-7 lead, and it has been a fantastic game. But I'm sure BG would have liked to have at least gone in tied or with a 1-goal lead.
Sure.
And they've maintained it all game. Now it's 8-7, so the first thing is get the equalizer.
All right, and we'll take a quick break here, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for joining us here on Nashua ETV, folks.
And welcome back, everyone, to Stellos Stadium here at Nashua. Tom King along with Rich McDonough. We have 1 quarter left to play. 8-7 Staples over Bishop Guertin. And we have a special guest, Rich McDonough. Take it away.
Saying hello to Dan Clark, who's with the Staples Booster program and a dear friend of one of my dearest friends, Raz, who I mentioned a while ago. And also great friends of the Gabord family who are part of BG background. Dan, welcome. It's good to see you.
Welcome, and thanks for a lot of the info you've given us, too. It's a lifesaver.
That's right. Yeah. Well, welcome, Dan. We're glad to have you.
Well, thanks so much for the warm welcome, guys. It's great to be up here again. This is our 3rd year playing BG, and it's been a great partnership, I think, between the two schools.
Yeah, I agree, and excellent coaching, lots of Long Island DNA, as I've been pointing out, between the two coaches. And then they both played college ball in Pennsylvania. Will Kashansky at Penn and Coach Cameron at Lehigh. So we're well represented from down there.
So number 1 down here for Staples is Adam Udell, and his father is a friend of Coach Cameron's from Lehigh, actually. He didn't play lacrosse there, he played soccer there, but Coach Cameron was nice enough to give Andy Udell a nice hiking trail to hit today.
The lacrosse family is wide and far, believe me.
All right, but creating from below X right now is Owen King. He got himself a goal. That is the 5th moving screen of the game, interference in lacrosse. And again, and Dan knows this all too well, That's what actually turns coach's hair gray.
Indeed, it does.
Unforced errors, right, Dan?
That's right.
So
that's
far,
right.
what do the Staples folks, what do they think of the setting and the game?
Well, the setting is spectacular. My wife sent me a text a couple minutes ago asking if that was a lake behind us. I said it is indeed a lake, and it's a beautiful setting.
It's the Nashua River.
It's the stalled part of the Nashua River.
Yeah, it's a river. Yep.
Okay, well,
it is the stalled part. Yep.
She's listening to us on the live stream right now, so now she knows it's the Nashua River.
And
Terrific.
later on in the year, when there's leaves on those trees, we won't be able to see too much of the river. So we get a good view of it today, and it's nice. It's a great setting. This place was built in 2001, I believe, and then opened up. The city needed someplace to play a lot of rectangular sports because the baseball stadium was getting destroyed by everything. So,
Dan, your son Charlie, we've talked about him, number 55. He had that beautiful feed to the crease a while ago. What was his mood once you got him out of bed this morning for the bus trip?
Well, he was a little tired getting out of bed this morning, but he was super excited to come up here. You know, he's a sophomore, and he's like, he's hanging on by a thread for playing time. So he's excited to get out here and play and try to keep his job. Yeah, so it was exciting. I also drove number 10, Caleb Smith, to the stadium today. And Caleb, I think I said this to you in the email, he's the Gatorade Player of the Year in Connecticut for football. He was really excited for the game, too.
And he's a QB, right?
That's right.
And my son Mike was the leading quarterback in New Hampshire, so we had a great conversation about that. With the two big boys, Burmeister and Pryor, out, how are the middies handling for Staples? My old expression was, experience is what you get when you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
So congratulations, they're getting experience. Is that the read from those guys, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. They're getting some guys out there that might not normally be on the field. They've got Adam Udell, number 1, running up top there,
right,
which
he's got
usually
the ball right now.
He's usually playing behind the goal, and then Tristan Schaefer, number 91, is kind of the other of the three-headed midfield.
Right. When he rolls back, Schaefer, I'm noticing that cannon when he gets into his left. You can't predict, and that's why he's going to be a stud for Colgate.
Very two-handed player.
Yeah.
Like his left almost looks like it's better than it's right.
I thought
Very
so
two-handed.
initially. I watched the Darien game, and I said, "Oh, great lefty," and I went, "Whoa, no!"
Yeah.
All right, here's a good guy. Is Nicholas? Do you say
There's a
Weil
shot.
or Wheel?
Yep, that's Nick Weil. He's
Weil.
a sophomore.
He had a goal at the end of the first half.
It was a great shot, and he's really he's getting an opportunity to play with Burmeister and Pryor out here, and he's doing a great job.
Well, one of the things that Staples has done over the last, I'd say, 5 to 7 minutes is control the possession.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an old recovered lawyer, and possession's 9/10 of the law.
Exactly.
It may be more than that for lacrosse, Dan.
9.5 in lacrosse, I think.
All right, there's a good clear and getting downfield. They had numbers briefly. Dan, you've seen that a million times, but good job by Staples gathering, taking a good breath. I love the way Caleb Smith plays, number 10.
Great save by Murphy down low with his net.
Oh, and there you go, right on
There
cue.
it is, yep, another save on the other end. He's played a great game.
And Dan, one of our keys was the goalie battle, and it's not disappointing.
Yeah, two great goalies out here. I remember last year we had a great goalie battle, and again today it's a great goalie battle.
Yep, and then face-off battle has been legendary. Who was the All-American? Was it who went to UVM?
That was J.P. Kozakowski. So J.P. was the goalie 2 years ago.
I meant the face-off kid.
Oh, that's Henry Dodge.
Henry Dodge,
yeah. And Henry's having a great year this year.
And Chris Fifes is, I consider him a friend. He's a magnificent coach.
Chris Fifes, Camp Dudley alumni, like my boys and myself, for that
And there was
matter.
a Staples goalie who played. Was it Matt Schaefer? I don't know, but there's a Staples goalie now playing for Dobson Cooper, a Staples alum.
That's Will Heisler is the goalie up at Colby. He's having a great season. I just was going through some stats of his the other day. He's had double-digit saves in the last several games.
Right, I call a lot of NESCAC games. Wow, big wind-up there. Well, I'll tell you what, Cam Hayden, a sophomore, is really elevating his game, and number 15, and controlling that. When he gets that left real free, Dan, that thing can smoke, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good skip pass there. Another lefty.
The
Stony
save.
Brook found Caleb, and I'll tell you, Marcus got down in a hurry. As an old goalie myself, you just got to get ugly sometimes.
It's a great skip pass to the shooter there, and he got a good look from in front of the goal with a lot of
all
angle.
that time and space with that hot lefty. Oh boy, elevating over GLE, but missing elevating over the goal, and it looked like he caught a butt end to where you don't want to catch it.
This is a big. Ooh, we got a player down.
Yeah, he took a let's just call it the midsection, and that never feels good. 8:08 on the clock, and we're taking a break here on the field official timeout.
This is a big possession for Staples because if they can get a 2-goal advantage, they really put BG starting to worry a little bit about looking at the clock and the score.
Right.
So since we have a little bit of time here, you guys have a little update. I saw that that BG lost to St. John's Prep. How did that game go? I heard BG was leading at one point.
It was 7-all going into the final quarter, and St. John's scored 3 goals in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they just flexed their defensive. I was at the game, and great battle between two really, really well-coached teams. And the Hawks they just flexed a little extra muscle in the fourth quarter. And same thing, we had saves galore, excellent face-off play, and then some serious athletes on both squads. And you can't hang your head. It was just a hard-fought game. They left everything out in the turf.
The difference for Guertin compared to some of these other out-of-state teams is their in-state competition is not that great. Although there are a couple of schools, like there was one school, Pinkerton Academy, and they were they're Coach Brian Riley in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame and everything, but they have come down a little bit the last couple of years. When Brian retired as the coach, he's the AD at the school.
Right.
So they've come down, and Exeter High School, and that's on the seacoast, and also Bedford, which is just a little bit north of here, just not very far at all. They have kind of been the contenders, but not yet at this level.
Right.
So I think what you guys have and what the Massachusetts schools have is they have much tougher in-state competition. That's why BG loves to play these out-of-state games.
All right, 8:08 on the clock after the injury timeout to Will Fleming. He looks like he was okay when he trotted off the field. Rich McDonough, Tom King, and visiting us from the Staples Boosters is a parent, Dan Clark, who has been real helpful to everybody. Lacrosse is a family. We take care of each other. Yeah, they're going to go burn it up out in the field, but we hook each other up. And there goes Udell. Good dish at the end. Finds Schaefer. Can't get it over. And he wisely dumps it below X to reset. And like we've been saying all game, they're Division I commits. D2 NESCAC. I call a lot of NESCAC lacrosse. We have a Trinity-bound kid for Staples. He's going to play football and lacrosse, right, Dan?
Well, I hope he plays lacrosse. I put
San
that in my
Petrosino.
notes because I think he should play lacrosse, but he's definitely going to play football.
All right, and Will Murphy just made a 6 save. Got to do it.
He got
himself
way
low.
down low to make that stop, and now here we go with BG.
All right.
Almost a must-goal
What a great
possession.
athlete, Brady
Oh,
Dumont.
what a save.
And then Marcus returns the favor on the other end. Wow. The goaltending battle has not disappointed. And Dan,
9 for Marcus. I've got 6 for Murphy.
but it's the quality of the saves, Dan, I think, that they're making.
big.
And these guys are getting great looks at the goal, and they're shooting from in front of the goal with good angles, and the goalies are going down and making saves. They're shooting the ball low, and goalies they're getting down and make the saves. It's very impressive.
I also think the goaltenders now are wise to the low strategy for both team shooters, and I think that may play into this to see.
Well, we'd be looking for a stick fake or a head fake.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to look for something that they've got to do.
What a great trail check there by McLeod on Udell from behind, gets it to the carpet, and we got a stoppage in play. And we got offsides. That'll be a 30-second penalty.
Wow.
Bishop Guertin, that's their 6th or 7th penalty of the day. It's a 30-second penalty if you're offside. And Coach Cameron's none too pleased. This is a very important moment for Kashansky and Staples, Dan, don't you think?
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for them to stretch the lead out to 2. But the BG guys they're gonna look to make a save here and move it up the field quickly, I think.
Yeah. It's a 30 seconds, so they got to get right into business. Bishop Guertin already kind of pre-rotated, ready for the diamond shape, and there it goes. And if you're on offense here, what you want to do is you want to break down the shape of their defense and look for spaces and crevices. Sometimes it comes from the pipe.
There was one right down low, wide open, and the pass was errant.
And Will Murphy got to seal the pipe there, so that kind of took the mojo out of that conversion.
Well,
and we
the
got a
thing
stoppage.
is, when you get a pass that's that far, the goalie knows where the shot's coming from and is able to switch locations.
I think they're trying to clear up the clock issues. Of course, Staples would want every second it can. It's 3 seconds on the clock for the penalty remaining for the offensive penalty there. And Carter Zizokis, another kid I coach, he's headed for Wentworth to play ball and get a terrific engineering education. His brother went there too. Yeah, they figured it out. They're going 3 seconds.
Here we go.
Can't monkey around with that. All right, back in. Staples got to look it up real quickly. And penalties released. And storming in comes Hunter Duwane, a great runner. I said he's got to catch up there to number 33, Halke, and he does so.
Going to shoot it right there.
Getting up north, and Will Murphy got a piece of that down low.
A little anxious. Didn't have really a lot of space to shoot.
And one of my keys to the game, one of my keys to the game was hustle and heart. And Alex Dumont just showed it, but they couldn't play the miss there on that long
and
pass.
a turnover. That's a tough one.
Here comes another couple gray hairs, huh?
Because Staples, with 5:43 left, nursing a 1-goal lead, and all of a sudden that 1-goal lead looks like 3.
Yeah.
The way this is being played.
Right. It's like the opposite of the hockey bad lead.
Because Guertin just has not had the ball enough. They have not had enough possession.
Right. And, one of my keys, we talked about at the beginning, was Staples has got to possess with a couple guys out.
They're doing it.
A running game doesn't help you much, even though they're fantastic athletes here.
Yeah, this is not a fast break game. This is that both teams' speed has been negated in some ways.
Right, and they're keeping everything in front of them. And I thought Coach Koshansky, kind of articulated that when we were able to chat about it last night. And game plan executed. Well done by both teams. Except for, really a bunch of unforced errors and stupid penalties by the Cardinals. It's almost miraculous that they're in the game. All right, but we are at 4:50 and counting. It is 8-7 for the visiting Staples High Wreckers. And almost a ward there by Schaefer. That one finds its way to Murphy. He gets his own rebound and dumps it home. And at 4:41, it goes to 9-7.
Great save by the goalie. You got to clean up the loose change there. Get the ball. Don't give up rebounds. A great initial save. Lucky, very lucky for Tristan Schaefer and the Wreckers.
So hard as a former goalie, Dan, when it's that close and that hot a shot by a very talented player to get the rebound control. Your defenseman really got to help clean up the area on that island.
And now Guertin has what it did not want: a more than one goal deficit.
Yep. And here comes
all no possession. Let's see. Well, it's not yet. Let's see what happens.
And the Easter egg hunt is on. Vasquez can't get that one. He goes through. He's got to go through the ball here.
And he's got it.
Boy, he took a bunch of abuse on the way out. And here comes Caleb Young with a big chop. McLeod is in a position to pick it up. Smartly goes back. Folks, kids watching at home, you're allowed to go both directions in lacrosse.
They could have milked that clock had they gotten the possession. BG absolutely had to have that ball.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against Coach Cameron calling a timeout soon if nothing looks good immediately.
Right. They need a goal on this possession. They don't get it with 4 minutes left.
Yep.
And then Staples is able to milk the clock. That's going to be trouble.
Yeah, with Staples' ability to control the ball and the flow.
And no shot clock, as we talked about.
Yeah, right. You can get a stall warning, but boy, is it tough in high school.
Yeah,
you've got to be a mile away from the offense.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Brady Dumont with that 100-mile-an-hour cannon. He's looking to create. That's why he's going to Villanova. Amazing good players on both sides of the ball here. All right, Caleb, he's going to Stony Brook. Big pull.
Didn't have an angle. Didn't have the angle. Had too many bodies to shoot through. Did not want that shot.
Sometimes it finds its way in, though, to a seeing eye ball. 3:29 on the clock, folks.
That's a shot I think you take, and I'm not an expert, but I think you take that shot second quarter, but not now. You need to get.
Well, at least you had Dumont backing it up there. He really wants to get to his left and the top side. Smart defense by Caleb Smith. Well prepared. And Dan, I think it seems to me that Caleb is a real leader type of guy.
He's great. He's a great leader. Sometimes with a 2-goal lead, you look at it and think it's insurmountable. You can run off 2 goals pretty quick and pretty easy in lacrosse. When you're not scoring a lot, it feels insurmountable, but it doesn't take a lot for BG to get back in this game.
No, but they need the possessions, They've got to score here because the clock's ticking down. They've got to have the possession even after they score.
All right, here comes Owen King with the ball. He dodges by. He dodges right by Petrosino. We just talked about him going to Trinity.
That is a costly turn. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's a costly turnover. Now Staples will have the ball. They have 2:47 left in the game.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do with it. And there's nobody's calling timeout. They're going to go here.
Yep.
BG's in the 10-man ride right now.
Yeah,
the goalie's out of the
are.
cage.
Certainly are.
I didn't even see the goalie, actually.
Yeah, he's near
Oh, yeah.
sideline.
Yeah.
There he is. Now he's running down. Now Murphy is running
Went
down.
with him to the box. Sometimes they'll put my kid in because he's a terrific runner, and football background, so he knows how to cover. They did that with St. John's the other night. It was a little too late, but there is an unforced turnover, a rare one today for Staples.
That's a gift for Girton.
Yeah, they needed that in the worst way.
There's a gift
The ref never started to play.
Started to play yet.
Wow.
Very fortunate for BG.
Very fortunate for
Dan,
BG.
Bishop Guertin's a Catholic school, and I think the rosary beads were out in that one.
Yeah.
All right, Finn Moran, Sienna bound, starts out the clear for BG. You see him with the pink tape on his lacrosse stick. Sometimes he will pole. All right, that was a grandma goal, hit the side of the net. Marcus is all over it. I think Brady was a little too early in the possession.
Too early. I'm thinking maybe he could have even moved in a little closer.
He's got a cannon, though, so, I mean,
looking for the interception, doesn't get it.
Is he going to be generous? He is going to be generous, and Murphy makes a diving save at the 145 mark. And that one goes up, picked up by McLeod, off to the races.
I don't know if that was the right idea or not.
Yeah, I think he was a little too generous. I was kind of, let's go to Vegas with that prescience right there.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll make millions. Dan Clark, you can fly us home.
Big save down low by Murphy and a timeout here, and Girton now with it, and we'll see. But they have got, as Dan said, they can get 2 goals, but the thing is they've had 2 possessions and they've come up empty both times, so their possessions are limited, and that's got to change for them. And there's 129 to make that change. They've got to score, I believe. I keep saying it, but they've got to score on this one, I think.
Yeah. All right, Dan, you've seen these boys since they were little guys. Probably playing in some Eclipse clubs and the Chargers. What do you do on defense if you're Staples? Do you press? Do you shut off anybody?
No, I think you stay the course. I think they play a nice help defense, and they're going to slide fast, and they're going to look to recover quickly. I think you stay the course defensively. BG's going to move the ball. They're going to draw up their best play here. This is an important possession for them, and then they're going to look to win the faceoff and do it again. So I think if I'm Staples, I'm going to play. I'm going to keep the defense the same. I'm not going to junk it up a little at all. I'm going to stay the course.
Right. And Marcus, what kind of field general is he? Is he loud? Is he bark from the cage? Is he that kind of guy?
He's a great field general. He's a junior leader, captain on the team, and he's going to tell the guys where to be and when to be there.
Yep. I was watching the St. Anthony's game, and I thought their communication on defense was missing a bit because they were leaving the heart of the defense open. I don't think that's going to happen right now.
We'll see. We'll see if they corrected it. And now we have 1:29 to play. BG down 9-7 with possession and a chance to close it to 1. And here we go.
Well, no matter what happens, these 2 schools get together, we always have instant classics, right?
Absolutely. They're really fun games. Last year was a great game. The year before was a great game.
And there's who you want. And there's my man Brady Dumont with that cannon. And he delivers a rifle shot in addition to that cannon. And that one finds the near corner, and really no chance for Marcus. That thing was blinding. As my son, who was an RIT recruit years ago, said, "Dad, you can't stop what you can't see."
That's right.
And I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, okay, did that go over? No, it found that corner.
Wow.
So that was a shot and a half by Dumont, and now it gives the Cardinals a chance. Down 9-8, 1:15 to play, and now we can get a lot going on here in the last 1:15.
And his brother, the great athlete. What a big face-off win. Dumont stays with it, chops it out. It finds its way outside, and the loose ball. I thought Kushansky called a turnover, timeout.
It's going to be BG's ball.
But it's BG ball. Alex Dumont did not give up on that face-off. Cameron has a TO in pocket. We'll see what he does. They get the touch to Dunsmore. Dunsmore takes a big look around.
Chance to tie it.
Important here, They're going to be shooting. They're going to sandwich Brady Dumont. They do so. They get it off the carpet. Dumont is in his cross.
Wow.
And the whistles blow. We're at 49.9, folks. What
Timeouts.
a game. And Cameron did call timeout.
Yep.
Still, right before he lost possession there. Boy, the chess game is on, and blood and guts, and just hard play, Dan Clark, from both sets of fellas.
Great timeout by VG coach, Coach Cameron. Really well timed. Would have been a shame if the guy scored there, and everyone would have been furious. But
For the
it
blue.
didn't happen. No,
I've seen that before.
Yeah, sometimes the coach calls a timeout
And
right
there's
after
a
the guy
goal right, the guy
scores.
scores. I've seen that before. Yeah.
I still go back to that 2-on-1 right there. And, the feed, cross, crease. But, I think Schaefer should have shot it, but a miraculous save by Will Murphy
I
there.
saw the most incredible play a year ago in college, the GNAC quarterfinals, Riviera against St. Joe's of Connecticut. And the St. Joe's kid, I believe the goalie made the save, or Riv was trying to get, right before the half, trying to get a shot, turned it over. Somehow St. Joe's got possession. Save, flip to kid, right near the goal, with about 3 seconds left, down to 2, maybe down to a second and a half. He just flips it all the way down. The Riv keeper, goalie, thought, okay, half's over. I'm coming out. He's way out.
Yeah.
Ball goes right over him into the net.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Breaking from the timeout, we had an OT
Length of the
game.
field.
We had an OT game last year at Providence, folks.
Yes, we did.
Maybe
Let's
we'll
see.
get another one. Bishop Guertin's got to take care of business. Staples got to be on their horse. They got to have heads on swivels, sticks to the skip lanes all day long.
I'm going to say someone wins this in regulation, whether it's tied at 9 and someone scores, or whether it stays a 9-8 game.
Yeah, and Max Hill comes off the bench. And
Save.
a big save. We got a slash call, I believe. And that thing trickles out of bounds. 34.9 seconds.
That is a big call with 34.9 to play.
Yeah. I think we got a slash
we got
coming on Max
laundry
Hill.
on the field.
Max Hill had just come in, strong-looking kid, and I think he drew the penalty. And it is a 1-minute slash, 34.9 on the clock.
So BG will have the man advantage for the remainder of this regulation time.
Unless they score rapidly,
Right.
and it'll wash
and
out
then
the
it
penalty.
wash out the penalty, and
All right,
we'll see.
Let's see what kind of shape the Staples fellas come out. They've got, looks like a 5-man.
Yep.
Yep, rotation. Mine in that crease guy, you want to have a shield and a back wall, basically. That's your shape.
25
and they're clogging
seconds.
up the middle, our BG right now. We'll see if they
25.
create some imbalance here. And here comes Brady. Elevates. Not Brady, excuse me.
Remember, there's a
That was
man
Owen
open.
King.
There's a man open. Now we are down to 13 and a half.
You got 4 lefties in the game right now for Bishop Guertin. I wonder where shots are going to come.
Well, someone's got to shoot it fast. 6
Well, 6
seconds to
seconds.
go. They've got to shoot it now. Can't take
And
a
here's your
chance.
time and space shot.
Save.
Brady Dumont gets it high and low. And I tell you, we've been talking about it all game long. Here comes UNC bound Josh Marcus, father of an All-American Hopkins goalie, getting down and ugly at the buzzer. And that is the way we end it, 9-8. What a game, fellas. How lucky are we to watch this game?
Fantastic game. Absolutely great. We hope you enjoyed it here on Nashua ETV.
Yeah.
I'm Tom King.
I'm going to talk to Dan Clark for a moment. And, Tom, you're going to go down and do telegraph
Take
stuff.
it away,
right?
Rich McDonough.
All right, buddy. I'm glad we got to do this one, pal. Dan, thank you so much for spending time with us, letting us talk about your son who had a wonderful assist, and you've been a pal to me this week, and obviously you friends to some of my good friends.
Yep.
And boy, I really enjoyed having you up here. It was a fun fourth quarter for us.
It's a great game. I love the matchup. Again, like I said before, 3rd year we've done this matchup.
Yeah.
Last year and this year, both incredible games, really good matchups. It's so nice to play these out-of-state games too, where you play, like Bishop Guertin typically wins the New Hampshire State Championship, so it's great for Staples to have an opportunity to play them.
Well, we got 2-time defending champs from Staples,
Yep.
3-time defending champs from New Hampshire and Bishop Guertin, and the matchup was everything we thought it might be and hoped for. And look, thanks to all your Staples folks for being kind to us. If we get together, I'll pour.
Well, hopefully you guys will come down and see us next year. That would be great. We'd love to have you next year.
Well, I'd love to be there. I'll be an alum at that point. But anyway,
you'll still be doing this game, though.
All right, Dan Clark, thanks for spending time with us. Nashua ETV, executive producer is PDP DJ Johnson. We got Tim O'Neill and Dylan Smith, production and camera. This is Rich McDonough for Tom King and everybody here at Nashua ETV at Stellos Stadium. Final score from Westport, Connecticut, Staples Wreckers 9, the Bishop Guertin Cardinals 8. As I always say to you folks, we will see you down the road.